Happy Steam Next Fest, Jason.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I have been playing a lot of demos.
Yeah, actually, I played a few as well. Some on your recommendation and some just on Discovery. I love this season. Like, it's really cool when they put out all these demos. It's kind of a shame that most of them don't stick around past this like week of the Steam Next Fest.
I agree. I want them to stick around for like, I don't know, 2 months instead of like 2 weekends.
Well, like, the whole gaming world goes to the effort of making these demos, right? And like putting, cutting up the content and putting in the like, please wishlist us screens and all that stuff. Like, why not leave the demos up? Like, why not keep them there for hype purposes after the 1 week of Steam Next Fest?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe it's too much work for all of these developers to like keep things updated or whatever. I don't know. Because if the demo works, it works. Like, just leave it out there.
I guess it could be like if they are like patching stuff and if they get bugs in their demo, they don't want to fix the demo bugs. Like, maybe. But
maybe. I love your mentality about some of these demos is like, yep, the demo's enough for me. I'm good. I don't need the game.
Yeah, we played a game like that yesterday, and I was just like, this game, I'm glad that I had this experience, but I don't think that I need to play this any more than the hour that I played it, which is maybe the point of why they don't leave the demos up, but like, I still wish that they would leave them there.
Yeah, but at the same time, I played the same game, and I'm gonna shout the game out because I actually liked it. Is Rogue Factory, and you were like, "Yep, demo's enough for me," and I was like, "Nope, demo's not enough for me. I want to play more of this." So, you win some, you lose some. I guess that's the point.
That is the point. Yeah,
I've played. I'm reviewing my Steam activity in the last couple of weeks. I've played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 demos.
I think I've only played 5.
There were some definite winners and there were some definite losers. I want to talk about one major winner, and I'm proud of myself for seeing this coming. But we got the Dispatch demo. It actually came out a little bit before Steam Next Fest, and I think it's going to stay out if I had to guess. But the Dispatch, the game, came out with a demo, and it is incredible. I loved every minute of it. I thought it was so good. And I just want to say it was number 2 on my most looked for, like my most anticipated for 2025. It was funny. It was good. It was actually like a little bit of strategy and thinking. And the only problem with the demo, it wasn't long enough.
Oh yeah. It was super short. That was a really good demo. And they did a really good job of like setting up, I don't know, I don't think it was exactly at the beginning of the game, but it was like a good slice, I would say, of the narrative part, so that you got a good experience of like, this is what the full experience of this game is going to be like. I actually don't know that I loved the gameplay loop itself all that much, but the story was really good.
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was just fantastic. My biggest worry is the demo being so short makes me think that the game itself might be very short.
Well, it's like fully voice acted. It might make sense that it would be short.
So is Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, but like that's got a giant cast of people, like, and a big team and stuff. Like, this is going to be probably a $30 indie game, basically.
I don't know. I hope it's at least a couple hours is what I'm hoping for.
Oh, I think it'll be a couple hours. If you're looking for a couple, like, I think it'll be the length of a movie, easy.
Okay, well, we'll see. I mean, we only got the demo was quite literally 20 minutes. And you're right. It was a very good slice. It gave us a really good look, but it is really short. I do recommend anyone go play it. Like, go play the demo. It was very fun.
Yes, very, very fun. But it's basically an anime. Like, it's like an animated, like, superhero series. Like, I don't know how cheap can they do that, or like how reasonable is it to have a long one of those, because it seems like everything is not hand drawn, but like, intentionally animated.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it makes me think of like God, what's that musical one?
Oh, Stray Gods.
It makes me think of that a little bit.
Okay.
In terms of like the narrative. So I mean, the gameplay is very different, like the actual like sit down and dispatch people, but the story seemed very similar in that you got to choose things and you had to choose them within a certain amount of time. Now, Stray Gods was all about a musical and singing and all that, and there's none of that in this. But I would say the story element and the way it told the story seemed very similar. And Stray Gods was like a 10 or 12 hour game, and I couldn't finish it. So,
Okay.
I mean, I'm hoping for as much length as I can get, because I think that this is going to be a great game with a great story. It's going to be a lot of fun, very funny. I'm looking for, I really enjoyed the humor in the 20 minutes we got, and the trailers show a lot of the similar humor. So I don't know. I think it's going to turn out to be great. I can't wait. But we don't have a release date yet, and that's just killing me.
Yeah, they say 2025, so I would expect the fall at this point, since it didn't come out this week. So hold on to your hats for October, November, probably. Welcome back to Pride and Accomplishment. I'm Chris.
And I'm Jason. This is episode 155.
So in case you couldn't tell from the pre-show, we are in the not E3 season officially. That is now known as Summer Game Fest. Did you know it's singular? It's not Summer Games Fest, even though I always want to say Summer Games Fest. It's very weird.
No, I didn't know that, but I heard someone refer to it as SGF season, which I was like, okay, all right, I can get behind that.
Yeah, anything needs a good like abbreviation, because E3 was the Electronic Entertainment Expo. That was E3. So SGF, it's like now the new acronym.
I like that they're just kind of saying like, yeah, Summer Games Fest, summer. Oh man, that's going to kill me every time now.
You can just
Why
say
did you tell me?
It's fine. No, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
I like that they're just wrapping it all under the umbrella of SGF. Like, even though the Xbox Game Showcase and the Sony PlayStation State of Play are not technically part of Summer Games Fest, like presentation, they're just kind of wrapping it under the heading of SGF. And I was like, all right, that works. That seems good enough for me. The other thing I really liked about this is very meta commentary starting off with that SGF and the Game Awards are both like big events put on by Jeff Keighley, and they're not the same, but they're similar in that there's a bunch of game announcements and trailers and all of that. And someone generalized things that Jeff Keighley did as Keighley keynotes. And I was like, all right, I can get behind that too. That's good. I like that.
They are and they aren't, because like I think of a keynote as something where the host actually has something to say or like a point to make. And sometimes Jeff Keighley gets a little bit on his like soapbox about stuff, but generally speaking, he just kind of says, and now here's a thing from a new studio. Here's a thing. And like, then they play a trailer, and then he comes back and says, and now here's another little studio that's doing a thing. And like,
yes, he's a host and not a keynote speaker, but the wordplay is what I
Keighley keynote. It really rolls off the tongue. It's nice. I get it. But like, they're not keynotes in the same way that something like an Apple keynote is for like WWDC, which also happened this past week.
Yeah. A lot has happened in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's been a very busy season for stuff. Like, yeah, anyway, we'll talk about Switch later, but like Switch 2 came out, and then Summer Game Fest, and then Apple keynote and all this stuff.
Okay, so Chris and I plan on talking about Summer Game Fest, Xbox Games Showcase, and a little bit of the PC Gaming Show. I didn't watch the PlayStation State of Play. Did you?
I did not. I heard good things, but I heard that they're remaking Final Fantasy Tactics, which is like the big news out of the PlayStation thing. But other than that, I did not watch the PlayStation State of Play.
I also didn't watch it, so we won't be talking about it unless I go back and watch it for a later episode. But I think there's plenty to talk about with just the things that we're going to cover, starting with Summer Game Fest.
Yes, the interesting thing about Summer Game Fest that I noticed is that every single thing after the first like 3 or so, they were just like, and this is from a team of 7 developers, and then they were like, okay, and this one is from a team from 32 developers. I was like, okay, all right, this is what we're doing now. And they were just like bragging about like, look how small our team is, which fine, that's great. I love small indie games. Like, I like games from small studios. Claire Obscure was from a studio of 50 people or whatever, plus a whole bunch of extra contractor people, but whatever. Like, they just seemed to have this thesis, but they didn't really come out and say it. And that was a little bit weird, because they kept making such a point of like, look how tiny every studio is.
I agree, but I think there was also a bit of this is a little bit more of an indie showcase this year than it is in previous years. I think not there. I mean, I hate to get into like our opinions of the whole thing so early, but it didn't deliver on a whole bunch of like huge titles. Maybe like some like the Game Awards have, or maybe like SGF has in the past. So I think maybe you heard a lot of it about how small the team is because there just happened to be more small teams being featured in SGF this year. I don't know. I think that's maybe a little bit of it. And it didn't strike me during the show, but now that you mention it, like after, I remember it being that way, but I didn't really notice it as it was going on.
Okay. I found it very like, I don't know. It jumped out at me every time they said it. But that's not to say that some of the games weren't cool. Like they definitely did have some stuff that looked really good. And then they also did a one clever, I guess it was a big reveal, but like we didn't really care about it. And I know we don't have it written down, but they did a kind of a funny thing with Resident Evil that was good showmanship, I'll say.
Oh yeah, that was well done. Couldn't care less about the game, but very well done.
Yes.
Okay, so the way that Chris and I do this is we watch the show, and as we watch it, we write down games we care about, and we just don't write down games that we don't care about. So we have some stuff written down.
Yep. The first one that I wrote down was Sonic Racing Cross World, which is like Sonic Mario Kart, I guess, but with like portals from Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, it looked like. So you can like switch worlds as you race through Sonic environments, I guess. This one looks really good. The only thing about it is that it's coming out in the same year as the major Mario Kart entry for this decade, so I don't really know what they're thinking in terms of timing on this.
Okay, so here, let me help this a little bit. I have listened to some other people's review of this game, and anyone that went to SGF got to go hands-on with this game. While at the same time, this is not going to be a Switch 2 or a Mario Kart World review, but it is not getting perfect reviews.
True.
Like, let's just start that, right? Like, Mario Kart World is getting, it's kind of split down the middle. Like, some people really love it and some people don't really care for it. I have heard that for the people that don't love Mario Kart World, Sonic Racing Cross World is kind of giving them what they wanted.
Oh.
And I'm wondering if that was the strategy. I'm based on that review and the thing that I heard from people with initial like impressions and reviews of, 20 minutes of hands-on or whatever. I'm kind of interested in this game. It's cross-platform. I can play it on anything. I think it's going to be great on like a Steam Deck or a Rogue Ally. I don't know. I'm actually I was not hyped for this game when I saw it on screen during the presentation, but now listening to people and my opinion of Mario Kart World, which maybe we'll hear about next episode, I may be a little interested in this. This year too.
It's this year. That's what I'm saying. It comes out September 25th. So, I mean, Mario Kart just came out June 5th or whatever. So I guess there's a little bit of separation there, but it just seemed odd for two big kart racing games to be so close to each other. I'm excited, though. I love Sonic. Like, Sonic is my thing because I was a Sega Genesis kid. So I have kind of a soft spot for Sonic. I have played, I think, one of the Sonic racing games in like Apple Arcade or something, maybe, and it was fine. But this one looked really good just from looking at it. So it might be a good Steam purchase.
The next game that I wrote down, I am not interested in playing at all. It's just not, I'm just not going to do it. However, as I'm watching it, I'm like, okay, this is clearly Game of Thrones. Okay. Are these in-game graphics? Is this not just from I had a really tough time determining if what I was watching was like a trailer for Game of Thrones War for Westeros or if it was like shots from the show. And I was very impressed with that.
Yeah, it looked really, really good. I was actually, as you were just talking, I was thinking like, I wonder if this is a symptom of the fact that CGI is used in like every show for everything now. So like, can games just look like CGI because everything is CGI in media at this point?
Maybe. I mean, yeah, potentially. But I'll even say like I was having these thoughts as I was watching Jon Snow, a close-up of Jon Snow in the trailer. Like I couldn't tell right away whether I was looking at a CGI Jon Snow or an actual like camera shot of the actor doing something in the like it was incredible to me. Like the uncanny valley where you're just like, this is clearly not real and it's very uncomfortable. Way past that at this point. We're back up at the other side of the valley.
Yeah, no, it looked really good. I did think, I was like, is that the guy from Game of Thrones? Because confession, still have not seen Game of Thrones. But I know that that's the Game of Thrones guy. I think Kit Harington is the actor, maybe.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yep.
And so I recognized him from other stuff. But yeah, it looked really, really good. And yeah, you said, is this in game? And then they had the little thing across the bottom. It was like in game footage. It was like, there you go.
Very impressed.
I will say, and I think it was between this one and then several of the kind of samey looking dungeon Souls-like games that came right after it. I kind of came to the realization during the show that I think there is maybe, at least for me, some advantage to there being not Uncanny Valley Crossing design when it comes to like giant grotesque monsters with like unnatural features and things like multiple heads or, many eyes or whatever, like things that are like supposed to be creepy and weird and gross and whatever. Like there were games that looked like Final Fantasy games kind of, but like the enemies were so realistic that I was like, I don't like this. Like, good job. Like it looks good, but like that, it's kind of creepy and weird. I don't love it.
I don't think you like it because you don't like those games or that theme.
Maybe. But like, I don't know, like Diablo, right? Like the game Diablo, like you do it from top down and it's far away, right? And if you play Diablo as a first person game with the level of detail that they have in their cinematics in the game, I don't think that game would be good.
Oh, I don't know that I agree with you. I think it depends on the game. I think we've gotten to the point where they can be so photorealistic, like we can't tell the difference between what is real and what is not.
Right.
That any game that can do it is doing it, and I think I agree with your question. I agree with your question on, does every game need to go there? Right?
Yes.
If you're going to attempt to have some kind of realistic graphics, does it need to go as far as photorealistic? Like you can't tell the difference.
Right.
And maybe I agree with that question, that question on like, yeah, we probably don't need to do that. But I don't know. I think if I think back to like, oh gosh, we haven't talked about it at all, but like the Grand Theft Auto trailer was the same way. You were like, I can't tell if this is real or not. And I think that's really cool.
Sure. And that's fine. But that's like grounded in some degree of the real world. Like, I don't know. There's certain, I want a game to have an art style. I don't necessarily want it to look like this thing could like exist in the real world always, because that's like, I don't get nightmares, but like that's the kind of stuff of nightmares, right? That's the kind of stuff where it's like, oh, no, don't like that. Like, I don't know.
I like the way you said that. I want a game to have an art style. I don't know that every game needs one. I'll disagree with that. I think there are some cases where I would be like, yeah, no, I'm cool with photorealistic. I think it really depends on the game, and but I can totally see how it would turn someone away.
Anyway, that was just my general observation about those kinds of games, of which there were many.
I don't think this is going to be the last time we're going to be talking about this. I think we're going through a period of time where, we're just starting to be able to do it. I mean, Unreal Engine 5 at this point is insane. And I think a lot of people or a lot of teams or a lot of games are being like, we're going to do it because we can now. And I don't know how long that's going to last.
Yeah. Maybe I should just play games with like lower resolution. That would solve my problem.
Yeah, purposely. Yeah.
Yeah, turn it down so it's not so gory or whatever.
Okay, so this next game is a great example of something that I think would be very cool to have perfect photorealistic graphics, though. We got another look at Dune Awakening, and I don't know, this game seems like it'd be really cool if it was perfectly photorealistic.
Yeah, I mean, yes. Okay. I agree. And I think there are games that are like that. Now that you're saying it and you're calling into question the concept of photorealism for everything, I think like Star Wars Battlefront 2, right? That game looks amazing from a Star Wars perspective, right? It's got the right like reflective surfaces, it's got the lightsabers, it's got all this stuff. Like that's great. I love it. Like that's a pretty photorealistic, maybe not fully photorealistic, Star Wars game, right? I think the Dune Awakening game could also do the same thing. Like if they could do perfect sand physics on 20 bajillion, grains of sand, then that would be awesome, and you would look really good because it would look like the movie. I don't begrudge that. Maybe though the sandworm doesn't have to have every little roll of skin or whatever that the sandworm has. Like, that's kind of my point.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But like the helicopter, the weird little wasp helicopter things should look like that. They look really cool. Like I'm with you.
They do look really cool. All right. Well, Dune Awakening in general does look very good. I don't know that it's at the point that we're talking about, but I think it would be pretty cool to be there. I don't think it takes away from a game like this. However, talking about gameplay of this game, turning out to be pretty good from what I'm hearing. We got another look at it during this. It is out now, and I have not played it yet, but I've been watching a lot of other people play it, and I think it might be worth giving a try if once it goes on sale and maybe a bunch of our friends buy it, I don't know, 5-ish people. This might be one of those play it one time survival crafting games that we could get into. There's a story to it. So I almost kind of want to experience that story as a team. It's maybe kind of similar to Enshrouded in that way. So I don't know. I think this would be kind of cool to try out.
Is it paid, free? What's the deal?
I think it's a paid game. I'm going to double check on that.
Oh yeah. Buy on Steam. Yep.
I have a feeling it's going to go on sale at some point.
Yeah. I don't know, looking at this $50 game, maybe not for me, but cheaper than that, maybe.
Yeah. $20 game. Sure.
Yeah. $20 game. That's within the realm of give it a try. It's out now though. It's here.
Yeah. It's time. So 6 to 12 months, maybe we'll have it.
It's also an MMO, right? It's an MMO thing.
It's very unclear to me how the MMO thing works, because you can build a base. So how do they have enough space for everyone? Is it server based? I don't. A lot of that is unclear to me. But yeah, it does have the words or have the letters MMO somewhere in the what kind of game is this? It's a very long list. It's like an MMO survival crafting story game, which is a lot of things to put together.
That is a lot. It reminds me a little bit of Star Wars: The Old Republic, because it's that kind of sci-fi MMO looking thing, although this is obviously 15 or 20 years newer than that, so it looks better.
The only thing I've heard bad about it is that it's a little slow. It's a little the progression is a little slower than some survival crafting games, but I think that was kind of true of Enshrouded too, in my opinion. Maybe that just goes along with the story driven survival crafting games, and I don't think it was a huge detriment to it, but that would be my only caution, is that if you're looking for a faster paced one, that you can kind of go as fast as you want. I'm thinking Pal World, right? There's nothing holding you back. If you put more time into it and grind into it, you're good to go. But there's no story that you're locked behind. Whereas in Enshrouded and maybe in this game, again, I haven't played it, you're kind of locked behind some story before you can progress. And I think it's just different for survival crafting.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, we keep an eye on it. If it goes on sale of some sort, we can reevaluate.
The success of Split Fiction and It Takes Two, I think it's finally resulting in more games like that. And I think you and I said it during the show, is we weren't looking for co-op games. We were looking for exactly 2-player games.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing is the Split Fiction and all the Hazelight games are for precisely 2 people, not one person, not 3 people, but 2 people. And you have to have 2 people to play it. And we saw several games like that at the various SGF events. And I think that's a really good thing, because oftentimes you can get one person to play something with you, but it's hard to get a group of people to play something just because of schedules and things as adults.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also think that, just the way that you and I at least play games, that our lives lend themselves very well to 2-player games. So we got 2. We'll just talk about them maybe at the same time. The first was Out of Words, which was a 2D stop motion co-op platformer. It looked very similar to It Takes Two, just because the art style and kind of the claymation kind of thing. But I really liked that at least from the trailer's point of view, the two main characters didn't have mouths or couldn't talk. So that's where out of words comes from.
Yeah, that seems to be kind of the thing. Although this one seemed to be a little bit more, I don't know, romantic. Not like, you know, whatever. The people, obviously in It Takes Two, there's a problem with the relationship between the main characters. This one seemed like the other way, right? It's the beginning of a relationship, not the end.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't catch that.
Is the vibe I got.
That
but
seems
I don't
reasonable.
know. It's kind of how it is. This one looks pretty good, but it's not the one that I'm most excited about in this genre.
Same.
Yes, they then showed, I want to say like almost immediately afterwards, they showed Lego Voyagers, which is a Lego-based It Takes Two game, I guess you'd say. We need a name for these, like co-op puzzle, I don't know, co-op experience games.
Yeah, I mean, they said co-op with Friend Pass, which I was like, okay, I immediately know what you mean.
Right, sure. Maybe that's it. Maybe they're just called Friend Pass games. It's like Games Pass, but like Friend Pass.
Yeah. Friend Pass, just for clarity, is where only one person needs to own it, but two people can play it.
Yes, and I hope this thing does split screen. I didn't see that. Oh, wait, no, you don't need split screen because you're in the same screen.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
You said, so Lego Voyagers, you're, I don't know, this little tiny Lego piece, you're a 1x1 Lego piece. And it looked like, I don't know, a platformer with a bunch of puzzles, but part of the puzzles is that you could collect Lego pieces and build bridges and stairs, and it probably gets way more complex than that. It looked so fun.
Oh, yeah. No, it builds on Lego Builder's Journey, I think it was called, which was actually an Apple Arcade for a minute. That was like a really cool little puzzle game where you can kind of roll around as like a little Lego brick. It looks like you like pick up other bricks. So, like you can roll on top of a brick and like pick it up and like build stuff with it. And I'm assuming there's like a grab and release kind of an option. They showed a couple of examples of like the two people cooperating and like building something together and being able to like get the people across and stuff. It looked very, very cool.
Very fun.
So I'm very excited about that. I don't know. Did we get a release date for that?
One down. I'm looking on Steam now. Nope, no release date announced.
Ah, bummer.
Which is disappointing. Like this is the kind of stuff like I want to play today.
Well, exactly. Like, yeah, the trailer looks really good. The game looks, pretty done. I'm sure there's more to do, but like, if this is a game where they've announced it and it doesn't come out until holiday 2026, I will be sad.
Yeah, exactly. I think this game could also really benefit from a demo. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
For sure, especially because that's the kind of thing where you get your two people, you play the demo, and they give you a level or whatever, and then you say that was fun. Let's buy this right now. Like, that's a perfect way to do that. The last game that we wrote down from the Summer Game Fest presentation itself was Wildgate, which I don't remember if we've talked about it before, but it is like a co-op PvEVP. I don't know. I guess it's more of a PvP type of thing. Spaceship game, kind of like Sea of Thieves, but in space.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of like the Sea of Thieves arena, where you used to be placed in, and then you had to either do something or sink all the other ships. I thought, so yes, it is PvEVP. Like there are PvE objectives and PvE enemies. In our very, very short time that Chris and I played the demo together, or I guess technically beta together, whatever, it ended up being way more PvP than I really wanted.
Yeah.
It just felt too tight. Like in Sea of Thieves, the map is huge and there are 5 people on it. Right. And that doesn't lend itself well to constant engagement or like a 20-minute match. And Wildgate is going for something that's like between a 20 and 40-minute match or something like that, where, you start, you have a match and then you're done. And it just feels like the PvP is it feels, again, we paid for like 20 minutes. It just felt like too much PvP for me.
Well, it also didn't help that we tried to go in to a like online match-made game, and rather than give us a crew of people, it just put the 2 of us there, and I'm pretty sure we were playing against other crews of 4 people. So we just got obliterated when we got into the match on the PvP, like the one PvP game that we played.
Yeah, even so, I felt how fast. Yes, I know there were only two of us, but just how fast we got overwhelmed. And I feel like I would need a lot of practice with a 4-person team to really get into that game, because I think there's a lot of learning to do in that game. In where is everything on the ship? How do the ships interact? How do I upgrade ships? Where do I go for stuff? Like, there just seemed to be a lot that you could learn and do. And I don't know that. I think we would need a ton of repetition in losing before we even got even slightly good. And I'm not sure I'm willing to put that time in.
No, I don't think I would be either. I think it would be the kind of thing where it would have to have a decent, whatever, AI campaign, right? A computer, like versus computer campaign, in order to kind of teach you all that stuff. Like, there's a tutorial and then you can play against bots, but like the bots are really dumb. At least they were in the beta. Like, they did not do anything. So we just obliterated them instantly. I think this game, it would do well with like a campaign of some kind. So you could kind of learn the ropes and then go online. I think that would be fun, because it would be, you could do the campaign co-op with your group. And then you could say, okay, now we know the general loop. We know what to do. Like, let's work on, let's go online. But they don't seem to have that. I don't know. It was a beta, so like it's hard to tell what the final game is going to have.
One of the things in Sea of Thieves that kind of just like lets you relax a little bit is that, yes, it's a PvP game. Like, yes, you can get into combat with other people, but if you die, you just respawn and you can continue with your PvE objectives, right? I wonder if there is potential for Wildgate for a mode where, yes, you can engage with other players, but to win, you still have to do the PvE objective, and you just respawn if you die, or you lose a bunch of stuff, or you lose progress or something like that, where, yes, there is a benefit to PvP, but it is not the primary objective. I wonder if that would be something I would be more okay with.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I think the map just needs to be bigger. Like, I think that the arena, or whatever you want to call it, should just be like 4 times as big as it was.
Yeah, I worry if you would ever encounter other players with something that big.
Well, but like,
or if the matches would go on way too long.
Maybe, but it just feels like that should be like, it should be possible to kind of like, I don't know, have a little bit of an accumulation phase where you kind of go and get stuff and like go upgrade your ship a little bit and like look around for the artifact thing. And then like once somebody finds it, then it's kind of a scramble to intercept them or something. Like, for me, like when we played, it was really just, we were in this arena, we could see the other ships and like they just ganged up on us and we died. Like we didn't do basically anything other than try to defend our little ship and die. And then the round was over and then we had to stop. Like, that was the end. And it just didn't have the same feel as Sea of Thieves because the world, so to speak, was so small.
I do want to be fair to this game. Chris and I did not have a great first experience. I have heard other people that really enjoyed this game. I don't know if they're just more into PvP or if they just had a different first experience than we did. It's possible that we just had a really bad, set of experiences. I would love to hear other people's opinions if they've played this and enjoyed it on what their experience is versus what ours is. Because I mean, honestly, I don't know that I would ever go back to this game unless I had a team of 4, like already like pre-built.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I don't begrudge that as a concept. I enjoyed the tutorial, like when it was just me and the tutorial telling me what to do, and the AI that we played was fine. It was too easy, but I could get the feeling for it. But the PvP, the online PvP, was just too much.
That's all Chris and I have written down for Summer Games Fest. Wow, I'm never going to get that. Summer Game Fest. That's all we have written down for it. I have heard reviews that it was not the best, and I would tend to agree with them. I don't think it was bad. I think it was, again, great stage, great presentation, great show. But I didn't leave SGF with like, oh my God, I'm so happy I watched that. I'm pumped for gaming. Like, go back and listen to the episode after we watched the Game Awards, and I'm like, I'm so proud to be a gamer. Like, I'm so pumped to be a part of this industry and in it and like watching it and paying attention to it. I didn't get that feeling with SGF. And I don't know if it's just a bad year, just an off year, whatever. It just didn't happen, and that's okay. It doesn't have to happen all the time. It can't happen every time. But I think this is one of the, not a bad presentation, but just an off year.
Well, I mean, I guess they can't all be winners, right? You can't always have a like jam-packed amazing announcement. But I do think there were enough rumors kind of swimming in the ether that they could have had some really great announcements if those things were ready, which I don't think they were. But like, there has been this kind of rising tide of buzz about a potential Half-Life 3 announcement, and that would have like pushed this thing over the edge regardless of anything else that happened there, and it didn't happen. But the whole thing, it was 2 hours long. I think it probably could have been an hour 15 and been fine.
Yeah, I agree. I think again, just wasn't enough there for me, and it would have been fine a little bit shorter. They tend to do more talking in this show than the next one. We're going to talk about Xbox Game Showcase, and the name of that show is perfect because it is literally, the Xbox Game Showcase is literally just a showcase of games. There's so little talking during that show, and there's a little bit more during Summer Games Fest and more during the Game Awards. Like, that makes a little bit of sense, but we'll see next year. I don't think the show is bad or gone or never going to happen again. But I came home from work, I sat down, and by the end of it, I was like, all right, what's next?
Yeah.
What was next was the Xbox Game Showcase, and I have better things to say about this thing. First of all, I want to comment that right off the rip, right at the beginning of the show, we got the world premiere tagline back. They got rid of it last show. They showed it like it would be on screen, but the guy didn't say world premiere, so it just didn't and they brought it back, and I was very happy with that change.
Yeah, they made a big deal about the world premieres, of course, and then they also did this thing up front where they were talking about Xbox Play Anywhere, which is just this weird branding for like cloud saving your Xbox games, I guess. Because they were talking about how it was like, yeah, if you see this card, every game we show today has Xbox Play Anywhere, which is not the same thing as they said, I think last year or the year before, where they said every game we show today is on Game Pass, because every game in the Xbox Game Showcase this year was not on Game Pass.
Not on Game Pass, that's correct, yeah.
Which I thought was interesting, a little bit of a pivot from last time.
I think it's okay. I will say it was still like, I don't know, 70% of the games were on Game Pass, and most of them they had this tag. It was my favorite title card in the whole thing, was day one with Game Pass. And I was like, yes. This showcase for me was like the reinforcement that it continues to be an incredible value a service for Game Pass. I just recently went back through and looked at all of the games available with Game Pass to kind of see like, oh man, what should I play? What's next? What's all that? There's just so much good stuff in there, and this showcase just made me even more excited for it. Again, we've talked a lot about like my Game Pass is expiring in November. I'm pretty much 100% on. I'm going to just yearly renew it from now on.
Do they have an annual subscription?
I don't know, but it's just for the PC version of the Game Pass, it's like $12 a month or something like that. I think I'm starting to use it more and more, and I think I'm at the point where I'm just like, okay, it's good. Just going to keep it on.
There have definitely been a few things I've missed, not like missed because they're still there in Game Pass, but like I have missed having Game Pass to be able to play a bunch of games that have come out recently, like Clair Obscur, like Blueprints. I probably would have started Blueprints on not Steam if I had Game Pass, like Indiana Jones, like I don't know. There are other things. Game Pass is definitely the best deal in gaming because it is for the money. It is excellent. But I missed Starfield too. That was the other thing, which I would have played for 4 hours before putting down forever last summer. But this year it's got a bunch of stuff coming, and I'm pretty excited about that.
The only other thing to note that is not Game Pass related is I was very excited to see the PS5 logo up there for almost every game that was announced during the showcase, where it would say available on and, Xbox, Steam, sometimes Epic, but like almost everything they announced, PS5 logo was up there. And it felt good.
Yeah, no, the gaming in general, I think the platform walls are kind of coming down, at least between PlayStation and Xbox, for a bunch of stuff, not everything, because people are realizing, like the companies are realizing that like people that buy Xbox Series X want to play, games that are PlayStation published, or people that have PCs want to play Marvel Spider-Man, like, or whatever, like, and they've been doing that kind of stuff in the last 5 years or so, and that's been pretty cool. Xbox has, I think, even said publicly, like, we don't really care if it's on our hardware or not, but we just want people to play our games and give us money for them. So they are kind of acting out that strategy and differentiating by putting a bunch of their stuff on Game Pass.
Chris, what do we talk about first here? Because I think we have two really big things to talk about and then a bunch of smaller stuff. You want to maybe start with the smaller stuff and then we'll end with the big ones?
All right, we'll start with the small stuff.
Okay, smaller stuff. Super Meat Boy 3D.
Yes. Did you play Super Meat Boy original?
I've never played it, but it looked kind of too much for me in 2D, and now it looks way too much for me in 3D, but I was kind of drawn to it.
Yeah, I played a little bit of it on 2D at one point. It is a lot. It's one of these like super hard platforming games, so I'm not surprised, I guess, that it looks like too much in 3D. I didn't catch this one. Like my watching situation was a little bit weird. I like saw it in the corner of my eye, but I didn't get a chance to actually like really sit down and watch the trailer. I don't know. It looks cool. It looked like a Banjo-Kazooie from like the glance that I gave it, but it's not my kind of humor. It's not my like, and also the game is like purposely extremely difficult. So I don't usually like it anyway.
Here's my thing with Super Meat Boy 3D. It looked fun. It looked crazy. It looked wild. It looked really hard. I don't know that it's a game that I'm going to play from start to finish, but this is definitely one of those games where I could see myself playing it on a handheld, day one with Game Pass, trying it out, seeing what it's all about, maybe having fun with it, maybe not, who knows. But it's just such an easy thing to pick up in my mind and such an easy thing to put down if I don't care for it.
Yeah, that's true. The next thing we have on our list here, I was like 3 minutes ahead of you by the time that I sat down to watch this, like, and was really paying attention. And I saw this coming from 3 minutes away, and I was like, oh, Jason, they're going to get you. And then they start showing the kind of like characteristic cheesiness of Fallout 76. And then they start showing fishing, like just like a full-on fishing game inside of the Fallout 76 game.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to get me. I don't think they're going to get me.
I don't really think they will either, but
they did explain a pretty cool like mini game within Fallout 76 of like all of the different kinds of fish you can get, and it does fit really well with the theming of like a Fallout and like a bunch of like mutated fish and all of the ones you can collect. And oh god, you were able to show them off inside your base on everything you collect. Like, it was pretty good, I'll give you that.
Yeah, it looked really good. And the best part, the most eye-rolly, dad-jokey part of the whole thing was when they put the title card up there, and it's like an expansion for Fallout 76 called Gone Fission, and it's like fission, like nuclear fission, FISSION, which was...
Yeah, I think I audibly groaned when I saw it. It was good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was very good.
Yep.
I'm surprised this game is still going. I don't know that it deserves the No Man's Sky, you brought it back and did a good job with it kind of award, but it seems to be doing well. And did you and I try it at some point?
76? Yeah, it was on Game Pass, and I think we did try it at some point.
Yeah, I didn't vibe with it. I don't really vibe with any of the Fallout stuff. I wish I did, because I love the show and I love the idea. I love the world building. I just don't vibe with the games. And but it continues to do well, and we're always talking about survival crafting games. I wish I liked it.
I haven't really enjoyed a Fallout game since Fallout 3. We've talked about this on the show before, but I do still like the universe, and I do still pay attention to basically everything Fallout that they do. So I'm not going to play this either, but I thought it was nice that they're still working on it, and their production value of even their trailers is still pretty high. They had, as they tend to do, as is tradition, I guess at this point, they had a Sea of Thieves trailer showing new stuff going on in Sea of Thieves, involving this time smuggling and smugglers. I guess this is probably a new faction, and it was like new stuff you could do. It looked really cool, and it's new Sea of Thieves stuff, so of course I'm interested. I haven't played Sea of Thieves in, I don't know, 6 months, maybe a year, but this might be
ask
a good thing to jump back in. Yeah, it's been a while.
I don't understand how this game is still making money. Like, are there enough people playing this all the time, every day?
Well, I don't know about that, but like, I'm not sure how much money it has to make. Like, the game is made, and they keep doing a little bit of seasonal stuff, but I've spent at least $80 on this game beyond buying it.
Are you buy like the battle pass?
Yes, I've bought the battle pass a couple of times. I want to say 2 or 3 times. And I've also bought a couple of cosmetics for when they did like the Pirates of the Caribbean stuff, and like a couple of occasions I've bought the premium currency so that I can get some of their like premium themed stuff.
And it's all cosmetic, right?
100% cosmetic. Yep.
Wild. Very cool. I mean, Sea of Thieves is a great game. I've played it a couple times. I haven't played it as much as you, but it's. I could see how it'd be fun. I did like a lot of the PvE adventure stuff, and this looks like more smuggling PvE kind of, almost like a campaign of sorts. It looked like from the trailer. I don't know how they really do it, but I think it would be fun to get back into it. Season 17, they're up to the 17th season. You don't really hear about this game at all. Like, you don't hear. There's not a whole lot of buzz, but it continues to deliver, and I guess that's all it needs to do.
There are a few, I would say, like, not big, but like there are a few kind of staple streamers on Twitch that play Sea of Thieves. It's a very good like streaming game. It's a very good like hangout game because of the kind of emergent gameplay and the way that it works. It has, I think, kind of a good community around that. And it also is a really good, like, hang with your friends game, because you can just, like, hop on a ship and, like, run around the world and do some stuff. Like, it's a very chill pirate game, I would say. Like, you don't have to have a mission. You don't have to have a point. You can just be like, yeah, let's pick up one of the little side quests and do that today. And that can just be your whole experience. And it's really good for that kind of thing. Anyway, that comes out in August. The season 17 stuff comes out in August. So we'll have to maybe give it a try when that comes out.
Yeah. Let me know if you need someone to carry stuff around, I guess.
Okay. You can swap the deck.
The one thing, okay, correct me if I'm wrong. The one thing they said in this is that you're smuggling explosive stuff.
Oh, yeah. They said it's even bigger booms or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be fun. I don't know. Maybe it'll be awful, but maybe it'll be fun.
Boom barrels, I mean, they make everything better, and they've now, this seems to be the 3rd or 4th level of boom. And in the trailer they showed, like, it seemed to be pretty explosive. So that should be fun, because whenever you pull off a heist, essentially, or a we call them a Black Ops mission, right? Where you swim underneath somebody's ship with a boom barrel and then you light it and blow their whole thing up. It is just the wackiest, most ridiculous thing. And it's very fun to do. So yeah, you should play. It's fun. Sea of Thieves actually also, by the way, a year ago or so came out on PS5 too. So now there's like even more players. I've bought it twice. I bought it on Xbox and I bought it on Steam.
Oh, wow.
So anyway.
Speaking of Black Ops missions.
Oh, gosh. Yes, there were some Black Ops missions going on.
They did one more thing to announce Call of Duty Black Ops 7. And I was like, really? Really? That's your one more thing?
This trailer started and I was watching it and I was like, oh, this game looks really cool. They did a really good job with all the, the cutscene stuff. And like, it's got this sci-fi futuristic thing to it. And like, this looks really cool. I think I want to play this game. And then they're like, Call of Duty Black Ops 7. And I was like, I don't think I want to play this game anymore.
Yeah, I had the same. I was like, what is this? Is this like a new franchise? Like, what are they about to announce here? This looks so cool. And then we were all so disappointed at the end. Everything up until the title card, I was like, yes.
Yeah, that's such a shame too, because like it's probably going to be a decent game. It's just that like Call of Duty as a franchise is just so, I don't know, so done, right? Like it's just, I mean, at least for people our age, I don't know, maybe it sells well with people who are the age we were when Call of Duty came out, but like, boy, it's at this point, it's just been around so long.
Call of Duty is still a massively popular game.
I know.
I don't get it. I'm not in that circle. I'm not. I mean, and the trailer looked so cool, but it's not a game that I'm going to play. It's probably going to be on Game Pass again, though, because Black Ops 6 was on Game Pass. So if you want to play it, you just have to subscribe to Game Pass. You don't have to buy it anymore, which I'm all for.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. And if I have Game Pass...
And it'll have a zombies mode.
Exactly. If I have Game Pass by the time that it comes out, I will probably try the zombies, because I think I did that on Black Ops 6. I tried the zombies, and it was actually pretty decent zombies. But I couldn't care less about the actual like Black Ops-y part of it, like the game, the Call of Duty part of it.
The campaign was decent. I didn't finish it because it was scary, but it was decent. Now, they did Call of Duty Black Ops 6 for their one more thing. They should have done 2 more things because they had 2 great announcements during this show. 2 spectacular announcements. The first is exactly the thing I was asking for. I want you to go back and listen to my review of the Rogue Ally that I bought a few months ago. Mm-hmm. And I said, this is a great machine. It's so good. Everything about it is amazing in terms of like, you know, its size and its power and and everything it needed to do for me, except for the fact that it was running Windows 11 as a desktop that was kind of hard to navigate. And really, you know, Windows 11 is not meant for a 7.5-inch screen on a handheld device.
Right.
And I said, you know, I think they're going to do something. Really, all that they need to do is software based. It's all just take Windows 11 and strip it down into, you know, Steam Big Picture mode. I think we literally used that phrase, right?
Yeah.
Like just strip Windows down into Steam Big Picture mode. And they said, Jason, we heard you. We did what you asked, because they surely weren't working on it before I asked for it.
Surely not. Yeah.
But they announced during the show, we kind of all saw it coming. They announced during the show the Asus ROG Xbox Ally. I think there's 2 versions of it. There's the X and the non-X, the better and the worse. But it is essentially everything we asked for. It is, you know, the handles are more like an Xbox controllers. Like, so it actually feels really good like an Xbox controller in your hands. It is Windows 11, so it runs Windows games. It runs essentially Windows, but it doesn't run the desktop. It runs essentially a big picture mode that they're just saying it launches you into the Xbox app experience, which is essentially just a big picture mode where, you know, you select your game and you play. You don't need the desktop, and it's, you know, everything is optimized for a controller or like handheld input. It is everything we asked for, including what you asked for, Chris, in that you can play your Steam and Epic games and anything else you can run on Windows 11, you can play on this handheld.
Yeah, no, this thing looks great. They went to this whole big like segment about how they designed it and how they split apart an Xbox controller and put it into the grips of this thing, which it looks really good. I am very excited about this. And the other thing for you is that they've said that they're going to make these changes to Windows 11 like part of Windows, so you can get this on your older hardware.
I heard that. And I said, do I want this or do I want to just use my existing one? I think I'm going to sell my existing one because I want that. I want the controller.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that.
I had thought about that. I'm very excited for this. I think this is exactly 2 things. I think this is exactly what we've been asking for as PC gamers in the handheld market, right? Listen, SteamOS is really good. It's really good at what it is, but it just isn't Windows 11, right? It's not Game Pass native, I'll call it,
sure.
Right? This is going to be it's going to be a native device for Game Pass plus everything else. I think it's going to be great. I'm very excited for it. You know, it's exactly what we were asking for. It is also exactly what Microsoft and Xbox needed to do in the hardware space, they're not going to be a console. Like, they're not going to be a player in the console space anymore. Sure, they will still sell consoles. I think they'll still produce a console, but I think it will be a console that runs Game Pass games, potentially for a long time we have always called it like a almost like a TV PC, right? A PC TV. Like it's I don't think the next console they're going to create, I would not be surprised if the next console that they create that sits next to your TV doesn't also play Steam and Epic Games and all of that like a PC.
Oh, interesting. But you think it would have an Xbox logo on it?
It'll have an Xbox logo on it, just like this. This is an Asus product, but it has an Xbox button on it. It worked in collaboration. I think the next Xbox console they create is going to be just like this, but you plug it into your TV instead. And I think that's a perfect plan for them.
Oh yeah, for sure. I actually think I saw something where there was somebody theorizing that they could go this route, like for Xbox, right? Maybe it's a Asus ROG Xbox, like instead of being an Xbox Series X or whatever, it's actually like, a Lenovo something Xbox, and then there's different like flavors of Xbox basically, and they're all just kind of blessed by Microsoft.
Yeah, I mean, it's their campaign. That's an Xbox, and that's an Xbox. Everything's an Xbox.
They did say that. They're like, this is an Xbox as they're showing this handheld thing. I was like, okay, I guess. But this
really
looks really good. It's so tough now, like thinking about this and looking at it and thinking about like, is this the time to do the next round of like to upgrade my Steam Deck to a thing, or is it the next thing that should be? I don't know. This thing's going to be expensive. Like
it's going to be $1,000.
It's going to be $1,000, and that's just a lot.
Yeah, but see, I think you can sell your Steam Deck. You don't buy the next Steam Deck. You get this. I really do genuinely think this is going to be the handheld that you need, other than a Switch, obviously. I have two right now. I would sell them both and get this. I don't know how much I would get for them, but I could get a couple $100. I would get one of these. I'm very excited about this. I think this is the one you're going to need. I am a little disappointed with what I'm hearing about the screen, but overall, I think this is the direction I wanted to go, and I'm willing to put my money behind it.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's fair. It does look a little chunky, though. I'm a little bit nervous about that, too.
It is chunky. It's big.
Yeah.
I've heard, people that went to this whole thing, where they did all these, got hands-on with this thing, and they said it is big, it is chunky, it is definitely thick, like dimension-wide is a very thick device. But they also said that because it is built like an Xbox controller, the weight feels really good. Like it feels easy to hold and kind of balanced, because you have essentially two handles of an Xbox controller. It's not a flat surface. It's not like the Switch. It's not like the Steam Deck. It really is a good thing, like full, controller feel to hold, which I think balances it out for me. I very rarely hold anything that I'm using handheld up. I'm always kind of resting it, but I want a controller in my hands, and you don't have that with the Steam Deck. You don't have that with the existing Ally, and you'll have that here.
It looks really good. Yeah. I wish it was OLED, but other than that, it looks good.
I wish it was OLED. Yeah, that's the one thing too. I agree. I'm a little worried about battery life. I don't know what battery life is going to be like, but I don't know that it matters too much to me. We'll see. Obviously jury's still out. I'm hoping people get their hands on it ahead of time and I can get to see a review, but pre-orders, there is a rumor that pre-orders open in August. And then it will come out 2 months later. So kind of leading up to that Christmas season. I will probably put a pre-order in for it and then decide whether I'm going to keep that pre-order or not.
Yeah, I might do the same, although the Switch just came out, the Switch 2. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Different games.
It's true.
You can probably play Sea of Thieves on the Switch, but you get my point.
You actually can't play Sea of Thieves on the Switch.
Oh, okay, great. That's my point then. The thing they actually announced this early in the show, this device early in the show. They should. I mean, I get why they did it this way, but one of the things they did say during the Xbox Game Showcase is that every game they announced during the showcase would be playable on this device. And I'm not surprised to hear that because it's just a Windows 11 device.
Sure.
But that's what really, I mean, that kind of did it for me. Like everything is playable on this device. It's going to be playable well. It's going to be playable with a controller. And I don't know. That's what I want. I got a taste of it with the current, Rogue Ally that I have, but it wasn't a perfect experience. I think this will be pretty close to a perfect handheld PC gaming experience for me.
All right. Well, maybe I will wait until you get one, and then you can tell me how great it is, and then I'll think about it.
That sounds like a plan. Okay, and so I joked about they should have 2 one more things during the show. They really should have had and one more thing. Here's a deep dive look at a game that you've already known about, because they did a 10-minute ish. I don't know. It felt like 10 minutes. It was a very long preview of Clockwork Revolution, which we have seen before. We've seen teaser trailers and maybe a cinematic trailer, but they did like a very long trailer for this, and I loved every minute of that trailer.
It looked really good. It reminded me a lot of BioShock Infinite. I don't know if you remember that game.
Yeah, I do, but I didn't play it.
It had that kind of like steampunky kind of world, and there's like a little bit of a political drama and also lots of like guns and powers and stuff. Like it had that kind of look to me.
I remember when this game was first announced and I was like, oh, wow, that kind of looks cool or something. And then every time we've gotten more information about this game, I have been more and more interested in playing it.
Yeah, I mean, it looks really good.
I wish I knew more about it. Like the story and the world just look incredible. I wish I knew a release date. That would be nice. I wish I want to see just like not unedited, but like 10 minutes of gameplay, because I feel like we've gotten a lot of story and we've gotten a lot of snippets of gameplay, but I want to see like what is true like 10 minutes of gameplay look like for this game. Because I have really high expectations and I've set a really high bar in my head, and I just want to see if that matches it.
Yeah, I mean, there will be reviews. It's coming day one on Game Pass, so you won't have to really like decide like to pay for it. It looks like it has the right like, I don't know, cast of characters and like story and that kind of thing. It looks kind of big. Like it looks, I don't know, expansive for this kind of game.
Was BioShock Infinite open world?
No, it was pretty linear. Well, Infinite might have been more open world than previous ones, but I think you still kind of it was mostly on rails, like linear.
This game reminds me a lot of Outer Worlds, which is getting a sequel, Outer Worlds 2, which looks really good as well. But like feels like what I wanted that to be. Like, I don't know, just in its RPG and its story elements and the humor, everything. I don't know. It really came across well in this trailer. I guess what I'm trying to say is go watch this trailer, this very long extended trailer. Like, I don't know. I
think it was 5 minutes long.
Again, it felt like 10 minutes. It was probably more like 5 or 6 minutes, but it felt very long. It felt really detailed. And I guess I encourage everyone to go watch it. I don't know. It's really cool. I don't know what else to say about it.
I'll put a link in the show notes. It's 5.5 minutes long, so it's not too long.
All right, Chris, anything else about the Xbox Games Showcase? Is it Game Showcase or is it Games Showcase?
I had to look this up while we were talking. It is games plural for the Xbox Games Showcase.
Good. That's the way it should be.
Yes. So it's the Xbox Games Showcase as part of Summer Game Fest. There was one more part of Summer Game Fest that we watched, which was we accidentally watched. I sucked you into the PC gaming show, which is usually very cringy and way too long. It was still way too long, but the cringe was slightly more under control.
It was less long, too.
I guess it was less long. It was still too long.
They kind of wrapped it in a little bit. I do want to note that we have the Summer Game Fest, Xbox Games Showcase, and the PC Gaming Show.
Oh yeah, we've covered all of the endings to the word game, I think, other than
I hate that.
yeah.
I hate that now that I've noticed it. But I will say, PC Gaming Show, usually super cringe, was only slightly cringe this time. Actually could watch it, was not terrible. There's so many, like the thing with the PC Gaming Show is that there are so many games as a part of the it's so long because I think they just take anyone that will pay them to put their game in the showcase.
Right.
And they just put them all in there. And maybe there were just less that were willing to pay the fee this time, but so it was, only 2 hours instead of 3.5 hours or whatever. But it was a slightly better show this year. And you're right. I didn't plan on watching it, but you were watching it and then you were talking about it. And then I pulled it up and then I couldn't look away.
Some would say it was like a train wreck.
Huh.
Do you see what I did there?
I did see what you did there. Because the one gem that we got out of this show that I'm very excited for.
Made the whole thing worth it.
Made the whole show worth it. Was a game called Railborn. I like trains. I don't know what it is about trains. I like games with trains. And there is a game that was announced or shown, I don't know, maybe it was already announced, that is an online co-op survival crafting game where you build and ride a train. It's literally Raft, if you've ever played Raft, where you're like going throughout the world, stopping places, collecting stuff, and then bringing it back to your raft, which you are doing across the ocean. It is that, but instead of building a raft, you're building a train. It looks so cool.
Yeah, this one, this was, I think, the way that I got you to watch this, because I was like, oh, look, they're doing a game about trains. Oh, look, you build a train. Oh, look at this. And Jason's like, oh, no. And then you had to watch. It looks really neat.
It looks really cool. I was really worried at first that you could only build like one car of a train, and it was just like you just like built like one Nope. You can couple them together and build multiple cars, and they all come together. It was so cool. I loved how it started too. The trailer starts with you just building like a wooden platform with one of those hand cranks where you go up and down to move your train, and then obviously it quickly progresses to like a steam engine, and then it progresses to like the next step and the next step, and oh god, it was so good. And then they added multiple cars and coupled them together. And there's farming, and there's very clearly a progression where you can't go to certain areas until you get like one of the things they show in the trailer is like you plowing through snow because the track is covered in snow, and obviously you have to unlock that plow, I'm sure, like it's so clearly like a survival crafting game with good progress. I don't know, I haven't played it yet, but the trailer shows all of the good elements that I really enjoy, and I'm maybe a little overhyping it and a little excited for it, but this was the one gem for me out of the show.
Yeah, it definitely looks good. I am looking forward to playing this with you at some point. Like, I just want to be the second player or third player or fourth player or whatever on your crafting train world. This looks fun. Like, survival crafting games are a little bit samey. Like, they're a little bit like there's a lot of them and they're all kind of the same. But this one seems to be a little different because of the whole train building aspect to it. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this really turns out to be.
The other one I want to talk about is another game we've seen before, but it's finally coming out. And honestly, I learned more about it as a part of this PC gaming show, and then have obviously followed up with it. I think it was maybe also during the Xbox Game Showcase, but maybe it was during all of them. But The Alters was shown during the PC gaming show. And I was very surprised to learn that this is like almost like a colony sim management game. Because The Alters is the one, if you remember that trailer, I think it was during the Game Awards, or maybe it was last year during SGF, where like the guy wakes up and he's surrounded by a bunch of clones of himself.
Oh, yeah.
And he's on like this weird distant world, and he's like very confused and all of that. And you're like, oh, that's a really cool story trailer. Like, it's a really cool opening. And the more I looked at the game, the more I was like, this does not, like, it seemed like a story RPG kind of game, and it's not. Go watch the trailer. You'll see, like, it's maybe not what you expected, but it was during the PC Gaming Showcase and PC Gaming Show, and I learned, maybe I already knew this, maybe I didn't. It's part of Game Pass. So guess what's installed on my computer now is The Alters.
Nice.
I haven't played it yet, though.
Yeah, that looks like an interesting game to try. It reminds me a little bit of Oxygen Not Included, which is that 2D game from Clay, which I enjoyed playing a little bit of. So I'll have to see, because this is like a 3D game. So we'll see how it goes. This is also on my list of, like, if I get Game Pass, I'm going to try it.
You know what this really reminds me of? Did you ever play Fallout Shelter?
Yes, I did.
The graphics of this are obviously much better, but, like, the way that you're stacking and building your colony, like, remind me a lot of Fallout Shelter, where you're like I think you're choosing rooms and you're adding rooms and all that, and you have a bunch of clones. Like, I don't know. That's what it reminded me of. But it's still very heavily story based, and there still is a third person exploration element of the game, which is very weird. Like you're building your colony, but you still go out in third person and explore the world and build things in the world. So not clear how those things tie together or how they overlap, but it seems very interesting to me. It is on Steam. It's got the tags survival, base building, management, strategy, which are not the tags that I thought when I first saw the trailer.
No, I would not have expected that at all.
One of the reasons I like the PC Gaming Show, which, I mean, for as much crap as I give it, it does, have some cool stuff. It's targeted at the PC, right? Obviously, which you get a certain genre of games that you don't get elsewhere, and one of them is this factory automation type game. You don't get those for Xbox, you don't get those for PlayStation. They are PC only games, and there were quite a few of them, actually, but two of them stood out. One because you have played it before, and the other is because it looked really cool.
Yeah, I think these are games that are best described as requires a mouse. Because
that's a good way to say it.
Which I guess now with the Switch 2, they have that mouse mode on the Joy-Con, so maybe they can come to Switch 2. But these are the kinds of games that really benefit a lot from having a mouse that you don't have to, like, use a controller to move a cursor around the screen. These games, yes, I love them. They are like puzzle games or like factory games. I mean, like, think Factorio, right? And you can certainly play Factorio with a controller. They have it on the Switch and on the Steam Deck. But these games are definitely easier to play and better to play when you have a proper mouse.
Yeah, I want to call them like factory design games is almost like what I want to call them, because you think of Satisfactory as a factory game too, and that's not what I think of when I talk about this game, because Satisfactory, being third person or first person, you can play with a controller pretty easily, right? You're building directly in front of you. Whereas what I tend to find during the PC Gaming Show, where you don't see anywhere else, is design games where you're doing it from top down or you're doing it isometric. And those are a little bit more difficult to play with a controller because the fidelity is much smaller, right? You're zoomed out, you're playing it top down. It's almost like an RTS factory game, right? Like that's the way of saying it. And but I really like that genre. It's really, I mean, I think you and I both really are drawn to those kind of games, and we got a lot of them, but calling out just two here.
Yeah, so the first one is a game called Kaizen, which is the Japanese word for continuous improvement. And it is a game that is based on, like, it's a Zachtronics kind of game. So I don't know if you're familiar with the Zachtronics, like, series, but Space Chem, Infinifactory, Last Call BBS, TIS 100, those kinds of games where you have, like, a puzzle and a thing to do, and you can kind of brute force it, but then they throw a leaderboard in your face, and you're like, oh no. Like, I could do better. Somebody else has done better. I could also do better. And then it kind of encourages you to go back and improve and fix your efficiency in terms of time or space or money, in terms of, like, how many components you place. This game is about running a factory in the 80s in Japan. It nails the aesthetic perfectly. Like, it kind of looks like a Super Nintendo game, and I love it. You played the demo, right?
Yeah, this got a demo as a part of Next Fest or gaming show or whatever. I did. I played the demo. I really, really enjoyed it. It kind of was the actual gameplay element was exactly what I expected. But you're right. The story and the feel and the everything else about the game, I was really drawn to, which I was not expecting.
It's got a very earnest, like, it's very. It's all in on its theme, and I really like that. It's not just like this is a little frame story that's on the, around the puzzle game. It's like this is, you are, I don't know, as much as you can, living the life of this guy that's in this 1880s Japanese factory. Like, the first thing you do in this game, before you do anything, like before you actually play the game, they have you do exercises, right? They have you play this little DDR game where you have to like follow the arrows, right, and make your character do these little exercises. I will say from personal experience, having been to a factory in Japan for work, they play music and everybody is encouraged to kind of like take a break and like do this kind of like calisthenics, essentially, to like keep them, I don't know, ready and whatever. It is a real thing. Like, that was a very accurate part of the experience of a Japanese factory.
I also like that the player that you're playing as in here, like from a story perspective, is just some dude from Indiana. Uh-huh. So you're equally as confused as I was, because I know about the culture, but I don't know the culture. So, he's like, what is going on? And I'm like, what is going on? And like, you're experiencing that together in a way. And I really liked that.
Yeah, so that was really cool. And then the puzzles themselves were pretty fun. I mean, the ones in the demo were very simple, I would say. But I look forward to being able to try more complex ones in the future.
Definitely. This was another one of those that, like, when it was over, you were just like, oh, that's it. I want more right now.
Yeah, absolutely. This comes out in July. I'm pretty sure it's like July 17th or something like that. And it's going to be a day or at least week one buy for me.
The trailer shows a lot more complex things. So I look forward to seeing this when it comes out. I will probably also day one buy this. I assume it's going to be like a $20 to $30 game. I mean, that's kind of what I'm anticipating. And if it is, and it 10% discount on release, which is usually what Steam does, I think this will be a pretty quick buy.
The other game they showed that's in this like genre, I'll say, was a game called Modulus, which has a demo, and I have played it. And I don't know, what did you think about it from seeing the trailer in this PC gaming show?
So I like, every time I see this game, because it's been shown a couple times, and I've seen the trailer a couple times. Every time I see this game, I'm like, that looks really cool. Like, I'm always chasing I'm looking for another Factorio.
Yeah.
I'm always chasing it because I want to find another game that gives me the same feeling as Factorio. And this one's looks really close. It's got that top-down-y kind of view. You're doing something that seems similar in terms of factories and conveyor belts and all of that. And it's similar to Shapes or Shapes 2, the game, in that you're crafting geometric things instead of actual components like in Factorio. So that was, I'm a little confused by that, or not confused. I'm a little hesitant by that because I know that's a part of Shapes 2 that I don't like. It feels very meaningless almost. But the look here looks like something that could fill that void as another Factorio. That's what I see from afar. But I have not played the demo like you have.
Right. So I played the demo of this game, and it is a competent factory game, I'll say. Like it's kind of like Shapes, right? You put together blocks or whatever into little shaped geometric shapes or whatever. But the problem I have with it is that it's all very aesthetically the same. Like it's this like, I don't know, top down or isometric, I guess, like skyscraper look to it basically. And it's very hard when you're playing, I think, to figure out what building does what and who is who and that kind of thing. it doesn't have a lot of personality to it. Like Factorio has like a very obvious look to it. Like you can tell by looking at any building what that building is, and it has an alt mode where you can see what that building is building, which I leave on basically all the time that I play Factorio. I didn't see that in this game. Maybe it was there, but like also the products that you make are just like, here's a rectangular prism that's 2x8 or whatever. Like that's not identifiable as a person. Like it satisfies the requirement for the game, but like it doesn't make sense to me intuitively. Like Factorio, like, oh, I need green circuits so that I can make, whatever. And that is a very identifiable object. This is much less clear, I guess, in terms of what's going on. So I did play the demo, and they did have a survey at the end of the demo, and I did fill it out and say that to them. So I don't know that they can really take it to heart because it's a little late in the development cycle for that, because this game comes out soon. But I don't actually like this game, having played it for an hour or so.
Yeah, that's fair. And I see that criticism from watching the trailer again, saying, what does all that do? Like, you have to click on it. You have to, I don't know. I can see that. I may try the demo just to see if I feel the same way within a short period of time.
This thing's not on Game Pass, right? It's because this was part of the PC gaming show.
I don't know, but at this point, I wouldn't be surprised. This also feels like a potential Humble Bundle game.
Totally. If it came to Humble Bundle, I would play it for a while, probably. Like, I would play it a little bit, but it is not, to me, worth buying.
The PC gaming show was 2 or so hours. We wrote down 4 games, so clearly we didn't talk about everything. It was fine. It was good. Eve Frontier was another thing. I think that was talked about. Eve constantly pulling us back, but it ended up being a pretty good show. In the end, there were some games that we didn't see that I was surprised about. Maybe not surprised. Some of the stuff I was surprised, and some of it I was just hoping for. The thing that I was maybe surprised not to see was no more about Fable during the Xbox Game Showcase.
Oh, yeah. They made a big deal about that last year, didn't they?
Yeah. I mean, it's a big game. I don't know when it's coming out, but I expected something like another look, a look at a quest, something just to keep the hype up, because I feel like the hype is dying. So I guess I kind of expected to see something about that. The thing that I was hoping for, however, was at some point this whole week to see something related to the Mass Effect game that they're making, because they are apparently making a Mass Effect. And I don't know. That's just a lot of hope, and I'm not getting any of it. Maybe we'll get something on Mass Effect Day this year, November 7th. I'm not holding my breath, but I just want the next one. I want something.
They didn't do well with the last one, though, right? People were mad at them for the last one.
Andromeda wasn't a great game. No, Mass Effect Andromeda was not a great game.
Okay, well, that's fine. I get it. There's franchises that you're just a favorite for, and I'm the same way. We didn't see anything about The Witcher 4, which they made a big deal about at the Game Awards, which I assume is because that game is probably like 2 years away. Although they did show some Witcher 4 stuff at the State of Unreal showcase that they did, I think also in the same week or so. They did a big keynote. So I did see a little bit coming out of that, but they didn't have any like gameplay stuff coming out, or any even mention of it like still being around as part of the Summer Game Fest festivities. For me, they were missing my 2 like most anticipated games of the year, both of which are roguelike games that are sequels, those being Hades 2 and Slay the Spire 2. Hades 2 at least is in early access. Slay the Spire 2, they've just said, is coming in 2025, and I was expecting it to shadow drop in early access like this week, and there was not a peep out of them. So I'm not like concerned, but I was also a little bit like, man, we should have seen that. I feel like at least some update to Slay the Spire 2.
That's a big expectation. So, you think it could potentially be in the spot where it could drop any day?
I mean, I think so, because I know they're doing it on a whole new engine, right? I think they switched to Godot from Unity, but like they have shown, like the trailer that they showed in, I think it was the Game Awards. They said, yes, it's coming in 2025, which I said, okay, great. Coming in 2025. Cool. Summer Game Fest. They're going to show at least a trailer and probably do a drop, because like, early summer, that's when these kind of indie games kind of come out, because the big stuff comes out in the holidays. But there was nothing.
I guess we also could have potentially gotten a release date for Hades 2. You're right.
Yeah,
the timeline seems.
And Hades 2 is confirmed as a Switch 2 launch game, not launch game, but like it's coming to the Switch 2 when it comes out in 1.0. So I would have expected around the Switch 2 launch they would have done something with it.
Yeah, I agree.
So I guess I'll just have to keep waiting patiently, but that's fine.
Okay, anything else before we wrap it up?
No, I think we have fully covered all of the Summer Game Fest festivities.
Games Fest, Games Showcase, and Gaming Show.
You said it wrong.
No, I didn't.
You said Games Fest.
Oh my gosh.
All right, well we gotta wrap this episode up because otherwise Jason's just gonna keep getting it wrong.
I can't do it. If we didn't talk about a game that you were excited for, or you have some feedback on some of the stuff that we did talk about, please get in contact with us by joining our Discord, which you can get to at discord.pnapodcast.com. See, I can say that. I can do that.
Yes, if you'd like to find any of our older episodes or read our show notes, you can visit our website at pnapodcast.com. That's P, the letter N, the letter A, podcast.com.
If you're enjoying the show, we would love if you could share it with some others that might enjoy it as well.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll talk to you next time. This was such a jam-packed show, Jason. We didn't have time to talk about the Switch 2, but we both have Switch 2s, right?
We got Switch 2s. I said I wasn't going to stress about it. I think that was the right call. I didn't stress about it. I got one the day after launch.
Yeah, that was impressive. Good job.
I think it wasn't hard. I think it's not hard for people. I mean, I think they're on shelves.
That's good. I mean, they've had quite a bit of time to like pre-stock them, so I think that makes sense. I haven't heard a lot of stories about people not being able to get them. There have been a lot of drama about people that made pre-orders at Target not getting them on the day, but that's kind of an isolated thing. I got mine from Walmart with the Pringles and Coca-Cola that they did as like a promo thing, which I was very surprised to get.
It just came in the bag?
Yeah. It was 6:30 a.m. It was on my doorstep, and it was like a paper bag with a Switch 2 and a bottle of Coca-Cola, like a 16-ounce bottle of Coke, and a can of original Pringles, which I did not order.
I got mine from Costco. We were waking up Switch launch day morning, and we kind of just looking around on the internet and saw that the Costco Mario Kart bundle was available it was $525, so a little bit more, but I got a year of Nintendo Online with expansion pass included with that. So I was pretty happy with that.
Yeah, that lets you play the N64 and GameCube games.
Yes, and it allowed me to play Mario Kart World with you.
Oh yeah, that's right. That does give you online play. I've had a Nintendo Switch Online like non-expansion pass subscription for so long that I forgot that was the thing you had to pay for.
Yeah, welcome to Console World.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've been paying for it. It's only $20 a year. So like in the 6.5 years I've been subscribed, I've only spent $120.
That's 1 year of Xbox Gold.
Yeah, really.
Or whatever they call it now.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I got one. I think we'll talk about next episode on how I feel about it. But and maybe some of your first impressions. I think our opinions are going to be different. But yeah, no, definitely. I was very happy and surprised to be able to have one before the weekend of launch.
Yeah, congratulations. And it was pretty fun to play Mario Kart. We'll talk about it more next time. I am taking my Switch 2 on a trip, on a business trip coming up in the next couple weeks. So I will have travel impressions of the Switch 2.
Okay.
I'm debating whether I take my Steam Deck too.
I don't think you're going to need it.
I don't think so either. I think I'm just going to take the Switch 2.
Do you have a case for it yet?
I have a case that because I had the Hori split pad, which is like a bigger like Joy-Con thing for the original Switch. So that's what I'm going to use for the Switch 2. It's not quite form-fitting, but like I figured out some stuff to be able to kind of wedge it in there so that it'll stay protected. It's about as tall as a Steam Deck, so it fits nicely in the Steam Deck type of cases.
Yeah. That'll be good for one trip.
Exactly. I mean, it's only one trip, and then after that, I have a D-brand Kill Switch 2 coming. So that
nice.
Would be,
those are great.
Yeah,
those look really good.
Looking forward to that, but it's like a hard plastic thing. So unfortunately, I've just gotten the shipping notice that it's on the way, but it will be here before I am gone, or like after I'm gone rather. So I won't be able to get it until I come back.
Okay. Well, Switch 2 reviews next time.
Stay tuned.